Hello, everyone, and just want to say hello to all my friends. Okay. Hello, everybody, and good morning. Oh, jeez. Hello, and good morning, everyone. I'm so happy to be back here with you again today, discussing my book, Selling Secrets You Can't Afford to Miss. I want to say hello to my folks in Boston, South Shore, and my hometown, Randolph. I also want to say hello to those of you who are watching live and those of you who are watching replay. Please make sure you comment and ask questions and let me know if this is good information for you. Today we're going to be talking about learning from others' mistake. What are some of the mistakes that others make when they are trying to sell their home on their own or maybe selling with an agent who's not so experienced? Underpricing. You might say, well, I did the comps of houses in the area. What else is there to know about underpricing? Okay. Um, we have a situation in Randolph or just in other towns where someone may have a property that has a lot of acres on the property. And this particular property, they sold the house based on the house. It was a small house and they sold just the house based on what the price of the house was. And they had 8 acres. But guess what? Once the person bought the house, it was a developer, they took that 8 acres and they took the land and they built several $800,000 and $900,000 homes. Now, if that person understood the value of the land, so it's not just underpriced into the comps, but if they understood the value of the land, I bet you they would have priced that house a little bit higher to value the land and not just the house. So it's important to understand about future developments or the development possibility of your land so you're not leaving money on the market. If you have a good realtor, they're going to understand those things and they're going to guide you in what you need to do. The market price sometimes it's important to know as you're thinking, understanding the comps and everything like that. Someone in your neighborhood, maybe a friend, a developer or something, may know that you're about to list your house and they want to get in before anyone else. And they're willing to offer you fair market price. They may say, you know what, the houses in the area is worth, whatever, and I'm willing to offer you 500,000. You knew you were going to list it for maybe like 480 or something like that, and you're like, you know what, if I list it for four, but you don't even know at the time what the price is. So you may say, you know what, if people are offering upfront, they're going to probably offer me less. So I'm going to say no, and I want to hit the market. Then when you do your comps and everything like that, you're like, you know what, that price that they offer me was actually a good price. But now you list it, and those people, maybe they moved on and you lost that deal. So no, if somebody offer you something, say, hey, if you're not sure of the price, get some, I mean, I can go through as an agent and get you the comps in a few hours. So you have an opportunity to get back to that deal and not lose that deal. The other thing that people mistakenly do is they may, call and say, I'm going to put the house on the MLS as entry only. Entry only means that you're not working with an agent. And they're like, good, I put it on MLS, people are aware of it. I'm putting it on my social media, but there are so many sites out there that your property can go on. There's so many things that you can do to market your property to make sure it get in front of buyers. So marketing aggressively and marketing properly is one of the mistakes that is made when someone is trying to sell the home on their own. So if you're going to do that, make sure you know how to aggressively market your property. Price adjustment is another one that, you might say, well, when I priced my home, I priced it based on the comps in the neighborhood. Great. So you started off the right way. However, when there's a shift in the market, the other day we all experienced where the interest rates were wonderful, and then all of a sudden they started going up. Because they started going up, guess what? The affordability of buyers went down. So where a buyer might have been able to pay $500,000 for that home, because the interest rates is higher, the amount they can afford to pay at the end of the month went down. And so now they can't afford to pay 500. Maybe they can afford to pay 450 or, even less. So now the houses are sitting on the market because sometimes sellers don't want to adjust their price. And the house keeps sitting. Next thing you know, your price, you might have 6 homes on the market and you might be the third highest price on the market. And so the first and the highest might expire. Then the one that's the second highest, they might realize, I got to readjust my price, and they lower their price. Now your price, who is not being adjusted, you're now the highest price on the market. Remember what I said to you, if you're the highest price on the market, you sometimes help to sell the other homes, because they're like, wait a minute, if I can get the same thing in this, similar home, this person is higher and this other one is lower. Obviously, I'm going to go for the lower. So they'll be like, well, if so your higher price house and your ability not to adjust and paying attention to what's happening with your comps, the other comps in the neighborhood, it can affect you. So make sure you're paying attention. Make sure if the house, did it sell, did it expire, did they lower their prices? Make sure you're paying attention. And a realtor is doing that. As a realtor, that's one of the things that I do. I'm constantly checking the market to see what's happening, to make sure your property is positioned properly where the price is concerned. Another thing that happens when people are selling by themselves, because as a realtor, there are certain things that we know not to allow. You'll have a buyer that says, you know what, I'm selling my house over here and I am closing this day. Can I move in a week early, 2 days early, whatever, because I need to get out of that house so I can close on that house. And you're like, okay, closing date is in 2 days or tomorrow, whatever the case may be. Sure, have the keys, you could start moving in. We all know, and we've heard of deals that get to the closing table and nothing, it falls apart. So I would say to you, never, ever allow a buyer to move in early. They could be the most wonderful buyer. You're like, I really like this person. Remember I said to you, don't create an emotional relationship with the buyer. But let's just say you did, and you're like, they seem like great people, and they might be, but things can happen last minute. I had a deal in Randolph the other day where everything was going great, and then the buyer lost their job. That can happen because the mortgage company will call the day of or the day before the loan closes to confirm that everything is as is. So things could change. Somebody can go out and say, oh my gosh, I'm closing tomorrow. They make a big purchase on their credit card to buy furniture. That automatically drops their score, and now they can't afford to buy the house. So anything can happen. Do not allow anyone to move into the house early. So it's not that they may have bad intentions, but it's maybe just that they can't afford to, something happens and the sale doesn't go through. Now you have a tenant. So never, ever allow anyone to move in early. The other thing is never allow if the house is listed and the comps are there, never allow an agent to pressure you into selling. Somebody comes in and they say, I want the house, for a certain price. If you know the house is priced right, you sat down with your agent and they explain to you this is the pricing based on the comps in the neighborhood. If they're not giving you updates to say, well, the interest rates have gone, and they're giving you valid updates as to why the pricing should be changed, do not let them pressure you into taking a price that is way below what you're expecting. Make sure and make sure that they're, because sometimes you can tell when a realtor has sales breath. And what does that mean? Sale breath mean that they got to get this deal because their pockets need it. And so if you pull out and you don't do, they're like, oh my gosh, I need the money. I need the money. So they may pressure you to making a sale that's not to your advantage. One of the things that I say to my sellers is a happy seller is a referral seller. If that deal doesn't happen, another one will. And if you're happy with the way I've done my job, you will refer me. And if that continues, I don't have to have sales breath because the referral will continue to come because people are happy with what I'm doing. So just make sure if you feel like you're being pressured and you feel, like, okay, I'm looking at the other things that are happening in a neighborhood, make sure you stand up and talk to that agent and say, hey, listen, why are you pressuring me? I kind of touched on this, being prepared and for pre-closing errors. Sometimes you're like, all right, I'm ready to go. You think you're about to close, and now it's extended a week or two because of something that the buyer do. Stay in communication with the buyer and say, make sure you're not making any purchases. This is if you're working directly with the buyer. If you're working with an agent, the agent is going to be doing this. Make sure you're not making any large purchases, any big deposits into your account. Make sure you have all your paperwork, make sure you have your insurance, and you're verifying all of these things, right? Because as I'm going through, I'm like, okay, do you have your insurance binder? Did you have this? Did you have that? All of that stuff. And I'm like, hey, we're almost there. Make sure you're not, doing all of that stuff. So one of the mistakes is being ready to move on before closing day because you think, okay, everything else is all set. There are issues that happen all the time. So be ready for any pre-closing errors or issues that come up with the buyers. That's it. Learning from others' mistakes. If you have any questions, if you're thinking about selling and you need an agent that will work with you and help to answer your questions, I'd love to be able to help you. My number is listed. Please give me a call. If not, and you're like, I can try to do this on my own, feel free to order the book, take the link and order the book and see what you can do. But if you ever need me, I'm here. Take care and have a wonderful rest of the day.